Why, hello there. Welcome back to Mystery for Two podcast. I'm Katie.
I'm Jack.
And you guys, this is the last episode of season 1 of the podcast.
Episode 16.
Episode 16. Don't ask why we decided 16 was the lucky number. I'm like partial to odd or even numbers.
The number 16, honestly, doesn't really have much bearing in my life.
Yeah, so perfect. We'll give it some bearing with season 1 of this fun project that we've started, Mystery for Two. Let us know what kinds of stories you guys want to hear about in season 2, and I will begin digging in to the research.
And any feedback would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah.
What was your favorite episode? Did you learn anything new?
That's not Jack's question, though.
No. I've got a much better question corner.
He literally was in the office earlier today. He goes, I have the perfect question.
It's around holidays and like vacations.
Okay.
But not necessarily going somewhere for a vacation. It's like holiday you get, like public holidays. So I was...
Bank holiday.
Yeah. So I was surprised today. I thought I was working tomorrow. We're recording this on a Thursday. It's a Friday tomorrow. I was having a very stressful day at work today. Had a catch up with my manager and he proceeded to tell me, enjoy the long weekend. I was like, what do you mean?
You're like, I didn't realize we had one.
It was...
It's Easter.
Unbeknownst... Is that how you say
Unbeknownst to me.
Unbeknownst to me.
Yeah.
That it was Easter weekend.
Yeah.
In England, they get Friday, Good Friday, and Monday off.
Easter Monday. Wow.
But, hey.
Surprise
it's
3-day weekend.
Bonus Friday off for yours truly. So, looking forward to that. And as I was then mulling over what should I ask our glorious listeners for Question Corner, what is your favourite public holiday?
Our favorite bank holiday?
Yeah.
Public holiday?
And I have a very interesting one because it's probably one you wouldn't expect from me.
Okay.
But this can also be, because some countries have different bank holidays. So this is a global forum.
Okay, what's your favorite bank holiday? I'm like...
What do you think?
I'm on the edge of my seat. I literally don't even know. Like, I've also, in this moment, I'm like forgetting every holiday that has ever existed ever in the history of ever. So I don't even know what my answer is.
My favorite bank holiday is July 4th.
Oh, of course. Right. And it's ironic considering the whole British American
Precisely.
of it all.
And I would say if you'd have asked me this question 10 years ago, it would not have been high up on my list. Well, 10 years ago, is it a public holiday? I'd have probably turned spring break into being my favourite because I was a...
But what that's not a bank holiday.
True.
Like, bank holiday is like what it sounds like.
Labor Day weekend,
when
Memorial
the bank is
Day.
When like the stock market is...
But I would open like Thanksgiving up to that, Christmas. I would just say like any period of time that people typically get off.
What's your favorite holiday?
Yeah.
Is the question.
Yeah.
Obsessed.
And...
That I'm good at.
I'm putting July 4th up there for me.
Okay.
Because the vibes for July 4th are unbelievable.
Of course.
Especially now that I've lived in America for a long time.
Electric, really. The food's so good. Hot dogs.
And I've had different iterations of it. You know, before we were together, I would spend it with my friends here. We'd go to various houses in and around, the state of New York. And it was just always incredible. Like, day pool parties,
barbecue,
copious hot dogs, just grilling,
fireworks. It's such a fun holiday. There's just so much going on.
And I think it was like fun for my friendship group to have me as like the villain.
Well, of course,
because I was kind of the butt of all the jokes. Like I would show up, I would wear like American flag swimming shorts. Yeah, it was a whole thing.
Well, we spent last July 4th together with your family.
Exactly.
At his parents came to America for July 4th and to see us all. And we spent the holiday together. And of course, Jack's dad has to roll up with the Union Jack swag, for lack of a better way to put it. The hat, the socks. He had like Union Jack everything.
It was a Union Jack bucket hat.
Like, yeah. Just to like just to remind us if we forgot.
Just assert some dominance.
The meaning of the holiday.
Yeah. No, it was pure banter.
Yeah.
But July 4th is always such a good time of the year. The weather's unbelievable, especially now that we've been together. I've been very fortunate to spend it with your family and enjoy the whole experience of being out on the water. There's fireworks.
We do it right. My family, we love July 4th.
The Belottis do a great July 4th.
We do a great July 4th. Just,
I must say.
like I said, everything about it's great. But I don't think that's my favorite holiday. My favorite holiday, do you know what I'm going to say?
Thanksgiving.
Okay, close. Halloween.
True.
It's my birthday weekend. Like right after my birthday.
See, that's
I thought you were going to guess it.
See, that's so funny. I don't really count Halloween as a holiday.
Oh my God, it's so a holiday. You guys, back me up here.
People don't get Halloween off work.
Well, I love the Halloween movies. Okay, so not a bank holiday, but you expanded the question. You were the one who expanded the question.
But hey, I understand Halloween.
But Thanksgiving I also do love. I love the food. Halloween, I love candy. I love the movies like Hocus Pocus and like the vibes and the dressing up and the parties, and that's really fun for me. And I think it'll just get better like as I grow up, have, kids and whatnot. Like it'll just be even more fun to.
I think of the
magic of Halloween will continue with like trick or treating and
the Modern Family episode where the mum is like going all out, all guns blazing for like to scare all the local kids.
Yeah.
And I see that being you.
I would love to be the host of a haunted house one day where you like stick your hand in the tissue box and there's like spaghetti, but like we label it as like guts,
brains or intestine or something.
Intestines, yeah, exactly. That I see my future and it's bright. It's bright.
Okay, so July 4th and Halloween.
So let us know your favorite holiday. And with that, I think we dive into today's mysterious tale, which might give you a little bit of deja vu because it's similar to another story we covered this season, but it's a little different, but still very interesting and mysterious, of course. So today we're talking about another painting disappearance. But instead of being in France with the Mona Lisa being stolen, as you guys might recall, we're going somewhere new today that we haven't been before in a story here on Mystery for Two. And I personally have never even been to this country. Do you want to guess where we're headed today?
You've been to a lot of countries.
Yeah, but I haven't been to this country.
What does the country...
You can't ask any follow-up questions.
What does it start with?
You just have to guess.
What's the letter of the first? I need that.
A.
Andorra.
No, Australia.
Australia, okay. I've never been to Australia.
I've never been to Australia, but I want to go. Like it's on my list. I want to go. I feel like all my friends have been. I haven't been. But anyway, we're going to Australia today for today's story.
Going down under.
Yeah. And in this tale, the motive for the crime isn't money. It's something else entirely. So just stick that into your brain.
Okay.
We'll get back to that. So there's this painting called The Weeping Woman that hangs in an art gallery in Australia. And if you didn't know the story behind it, you probably just walk right by it. Some might consider it downright ugly. I'll show you a picture of it. And if you're watching on YouTube, I will have it on the screen. But that is what the painting looks like. So it's one of those paintings that people might recognize as being important because of the artist's name attached to it.
It seems quite modern.
Who do you think painted that, if you had to guess? You know this person.
Van Gogh?
No.
Picasso?
Yep. Yep, correct. So The Weeping Woman was painted in 1937 by Pablo Picasso during a period when Picasso was creating some of his most emotionally intense work.
Picasso was going through something.
There was a lot going on in the world. He was going through a lot. It's this woman in visible distress. Her face is distorted and twisted into sharp, angular shapes. Her eyes are wide and look almost panicked, with tears falling in these exaggerated geometric lines. And she's holding a handkerchief up to her face. So it's a very expressive painting, kind of jarring looking in colors of green and purple. It's been described as an unsettling combination of acid greens and vibrant mauves exaggerated by thick black outlines. So it's not like the most gorgeous painting. Like, I'm just going to put it simply.
Not how, if you were being painted, you would want to be described as.
Yes. Like it definitely makes you feel something, which I would imagine was Picasso's intent.
Well, the name itself right?
The weeping woman.
And then the color green makes me think of like a jealous woman.
So it's one of those paintings that people might recognize as being important because of the Pablo Picasso name attached to it, but not everyone necessarily connects with it. Like, it's a little unsettling, a little abstract, not one of those paintings that people are like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. It's more so like it evokes emotion and evokes feeling. It makes you wonder, why is she crying? Like, it makes you ask questions, which, you know, in the art community, I'd say that that's important, but also to others, they might just walk right by it, like breeze right by it and be like, okay, I want to see something like prettier, you know? But in 1986, for a few weeks, the Weeping Woman became the most talked about painting in the entire country because it completely disappeared. So let's set the scene. We're in Melbourne, Australia, at the National Gallery of Victoria, which is one of the country's major art institutions. And hanging on the wall at the time is this painting by Pablo Picasso, who was, like we said, one of the most influential artists of the 20th century. And interestingly, before the theft of the Weeping Woman even happens, this painting is already very controversial in Australia. Nothing to do with the fact that some people consider it ugly, but more so the fact that the government had purchased it for about $1.6 million just the year before, which at the time was a very huge amount. We're in 1985, by the way. So that was more like $4.8 million in today's money, which at the time was a huge amount of money to spend on a single piece of art, especially one that a lot of people didn't really understand or like very much. And it was at the time the highest price paid by an Australian art gallery for an artwork.
So the locals might have seen it as a waste of money and etc.
In 2016, the Weeping Woman was reportedly valued by Sotheby's as being worth $100 million. So honestly, they got a good deal for it. Very
good investment. Good ROI.
Even though it was a quite difficult painting for some people to appreciate and look at, it was worth, or in 2016, so definitely more nowadays, $100 million. So Patrick how do you say that last name? It's Irish. McCogney? How would you say that?
I would say Patrick McCaughey.
Oh.
That's what I would say.
Okay. Well, Patrick, he is an art historian. When the painting was unveiled at the gallery, he said, "This face is going to haunt Melbourne for the next 100 years." There was also this ongoing conversation in the media and across the public about whether that money should have gone towards supporting Australian artists instead. Picasso was, of course, Spanish, not from Australia. Some people felt like it was an unnecessary, almost showy purchase, while others disagreed and saw it as a major cultural investment. So the Weeping Woman already had people divided, already had people talking and arguing over it. But on August 2nd, 1986, something happened that no one was expecting. It was just after closing, and someone approached the painting and simply removed it from the wall.
No security, just...
I feel like I've seen this film before.
Yeah.
Like...
I hate to bring it up, but the world was like 9/11 caused a lot of like heightened security on all accounts.
True.
You used to be able to get on a plane like you were getting on the bus.
There was a lot more trust in the 80s then, right?
No, the 80s, 90s. I'm telling you, 9/11 was like a new order of trust and security.
That is true. So there's no smashing of glass, no alarms going off, no dramatic scene unfolding in front of a crowd. Instead, whoever did this came prepared. They simply unscrewed the painting, attached a small sign that made it look like it had been taken down temporarily for maintenance, and then just left with it. The painting wasn't immediately flagged as missing, which kind of feels unbelievable when you think about it, considering this is a major high-value work by one of the most famous artists in the world that was, like I said, purchased for $1.6 million just the year before. But even crazier, the painting wasn't insured.
Wow.
Which is wild. And the reason was that the gallery thought that insuring a $1.6 million piece would be too expensive to justify. Like the insurance on it would be too expensive to justify.
If you can't
which I don't really understand
if you can't afford the insurance, you probably shouldn't buy the thing
piece
in the first place.
Well, that just like feels insane to me. Once again, people were very lax for some reason. So...
Yeah. I'd be crying like the woman in the painting.
Like the weeping
if
woman.
Someone stole something worth $1 million from me.
Oh my
and
God.
I didn't have it insured.
So
Someone got fired.
yeah, I mean, people working at the museum it's one of those, it's very similar to what happened with the Mona Lisa heist of 1911, where everyone just like, they see the sign on the wall that says this painting is gone for maintenance. I mean, that didn't happen in the Mona Lisa's case, but like they assumed that someone knew where it was. Like a painting doesn't just go missing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, surely there's a logical reason for this.
It makes sense. Like, you don't see it, there's a sign. You wouldn't immediately think of there's been a heist. However, $1.6 million, high value item, why are there not more eyeballs on it to begin with?
Yeah.
Surely that's enough to have one of your security guards just 24/7.
Right.
That's what surprises me.
For a period of time, the painting is just gone. But once the gallery finally realizes what's happened, everything shifts rather quickly. What had been a calm, controlled gallery suddenly becomes the center of a national story. A painting had been stolen out from under their noses. Police get involved, the media picks it up, and the disappearance of the weeping woman turns into a full-blown mystery. And people start to draw parallels right away, like I said, between this heist and the Mona Lisa heist that we discussed a handful of episodes ago on the pod. In both cases, the thieves unscrewed the painting and took it right off the wall, as you might remember. And the irony here is, it's quite ironic actually, that Pablo Picasso himself was accused of the Mona Lisa theft back in 1911.
I forgot about that.
And now here we are in 1985, and it's his painting that's being stolen. So it could be an ironic like copycat crime to the Mona Lisa heist, which worried authorities because ultimately we know that in the Mona Lisa heist, do you remember like the thief took the painting out of the country and tried to sell it? So like that, they needed to get ahead on things if that was going to be this thief's logical next steps, you know?
I feel like if I was a thief, I'd be after jewels. Because you can
like the Louvre.
You can cut up jewels.
And
you
sell it.
You steal a big diamond, you can cut it up, you can sell it for parts. A piece of art, you can't chop the Mona Lisa in half and it's not then worth anything.
Literally.
So like
apart from the canvas it's on.
How does one sell, unless you've got a private collector that has got no interest in even promoting the fact they've bought the stolen piece of art.
Right.
Then how is it even valuable?
Exactly.
Because I think a big part of owning these flashy pieces of art is showing it off. You want to be like, hey, look what I've got. And your friends and family be jealous. Or acquaintances, whatever. It's like a statement piece.
Yeah, it would need to be, like we kind of discussed with the Louvre heist, it would need to, like the theories that people have, it would need to be for a private collector that isn't planning on like showing it off, like just keeping it to himself and had organized the heist himself. Because you can't just like market this to be sold.
You just reminded me. You did say at the start of this episode that this was not about money.
Wow. So I told you to tuck that into your brain and you did.
I tucked it and I just
away.
Pulled it out.
Yeah. No, it's something else.
Also, another side thought of if you're stealing a piece of art, you would still get paid for it by not chopping into pieces. You would just be anonymous and tell the people that need it, like, hey, I've got it, and you'd hold them to ransom.
Ransom money, exactly.
So I get that.
Like we said, similar to the Mona Lisa heist, but different. Because instead of radio silence, the thieves responsible for the Weeping Woman heist make themselves known soon after the papers announce the painting's disappearance, but not in the way you might expect. They don't obviously come forward publicly. Instead, they send letters. The letters are typewritten, and they're addressed to Race Matthews. I think that's how you say it. Race, R-A-C-E. Race Matthews.
That's his first name?
First name, Race Matthews.
It's a cool name.
Right? I guess, yeah.
Race.
I think that's how you say it, unless it's more fancy. There's no accent marks over any of the letters, so I just assumed Race Matthews. So Race Matthews was the Arts and Police Minister of Victoria, Australia. And so the letters are addressed to him, and they're honestly extremely sassy. Like these thieves have kind of an aggressive tone to their letters, okay? They say, Dear, oh dear, Race Matthews, you tiresome old bag of swamp gas. Can you imagine, like, sitting down to work one day, opening a letter and reading that?
Swamp gas.
You tiresome old bag of swamp gas.
That's a... You know, some days I wake up, I read, like, a tough email.
Yeah. No one's referring to you as an old bag of swamp gas.
I haven't ever opened my laptop to be described as an old bag of swamp gas.
Yeah, not to be confused with like a new one. Old. Ancient. Yeah. So they say, there's a lot going on in this letter, but they say, we have stolen the Picasso from the National Gallery. And that, of course, gets everyone's attention real quick. Typed anonymous letters addressed to the media and the gallery, signed by a group calling themselves the Australian Cultural Terrorists.
Jeez.
So that's the ACT, Australian Cultural Terrorists. And the tone of these letters is, like I said, interesting because while they do make demands, it's not in the straightforward way that you might expect from a typical ransom situation. Like, they aren't asking for money. Their motive is to prove a point.
The letters, you know what they remind me of? The Zodiac Killer.
The Zodiac, yeah. Yeah, you're right. What point do you think they're trying to make? If it's not money that they're looking for, what do you think?
What did you say they were called? ACT, the Australian...
Cultural Terrorists.
I think it's a group that they were just very anti-government in general, but I think they were just very disturbed and not happy about the money that was spent on the painting. I get the feeling like they're a group that are maybe being downcast, they're struggling through with the current system in Australia, perhaps, and they saw that as a bit of a slap in the face, you know. Hey, why can't you like provide us better welfare, better standard of living, but you can afford a $1.6 million
painting.
Picasso piece.
Interesting. Okay. It's a good theory.
That was a lot of words. Could be wrong.
So, the Australian Cultural Terrorists, as they call themselves, in their letters criticized the government's spending decisions, specifically the purchase of the Picasso.
I hate it when I'm right.
They argue that Australian artists are being overlooked, underfunded, and undervalued, and they frame the theft as a kind of protest. So their motive seems pretty clear to authorities at this point. But at the same time, there's something about the whole thing that feels slightly off. The name Australian Cultural Terrorists is dramatic, almost exaggerated. The tone of the letters, while political, has a kind of theatrical edge to it. Like whoever wrote them wanted to be taken seriously, but also wanted attention. So investigators start to question whether this is genuinely a politically motivated act or if that angle is just part of the performance and this is more so just like an elaborate prank. And that's when the theories start to pour in. One of the most common ideas at the time is that the people behind the theft were art students. Another theory is that it could have been an inside job. Someone who worked at the gallery, or at least someone who had spent enough time in there to understand how things operated, how the art was installed on the walls. And then there's the possibility that it wasn't that deep at all, that someone simply realized, like just a random person realized how easy it would be and decided to give it a try. So these are the theories that police are parsing through at the moment in our story, but meanwhile, the painting is still missing. And as the days go by, the situation becomes more tense because while the letters are making headlines in the papers, there's still no sign of the painting, no idea who these people are, if the painting's even being stored well, if it's safe, because a painting like this is not just valuable, it's delicate, it's old, temperature, humidity, all of these things matter. And so if it's kept in the wrong conditions, even for a short period of time, it could be permanently damaged. Also, the thieves' letters warned that the painting would be destroyed if the government failed to meet their demands. What do you think their demands were?
More opportunities for local artists, better funding.
You're partially right. They demanded that Minister Race Matthews must agree to a 10% increase in funding for the arts and create an annual art prize worth $25,000 called the Picasso Ransom.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah. And the letter also said, this is like I'll get into like more details about the letters because they are interesting, but they said there will be no negotiation At the end of 7 days, if our demands have not been met, the painting will be destroyed. However, Race Matthews refused and said he would not participate in blackmail.
Do not negotiate with terrorists.
Yeah.
They call themselves terrorists. ACT.
Right. So authorities, of course, are at the same time, launching an investigation. No one could figure out the identity of the thieves. But then, after 4 days of nothing and no leads, the next letter arrived. Good. It just gets crazier. Good luck with your huffing and puffing, minister, you pompous fathead.
I love how there's no, technical cussing.
Yeah.
But it's...
Pompous fathead.
That's worse than being called, I don't know, a pompous fathead.
Yeah. You continue flexing your political pectorals before an admiring electorate for as long as you can, minister. 7 days after the painting came into your hands, Saturday, the 2nd of August, 10 o'clock p.m., if our demands have not been met, you will begin the long process of carrying about you the smell of kerosene and burning canvas. So kind of like a beautiful way of saying that they're going to burn the canvas. And it's going to be the blood's going to be on his hand. The kerosene is going to be on his hands. It's his fault if this priceless painting is burned. And then the next letter arrived containing a burnt match. 2 days later. Thank you for your support. Phase 2 begins shortly, was all it said. And we know, there was no support. So they were being sassy.
Do we think Race Matthews was the guy that actually purchased the painting? Because if not, imagine you just come in, this is your role.
I think I would actually need to do more research into if he was involved in the purchase, but I know he's involved in the decision making of the budget at this point in time. So they know that he's the one, puppeteer here.
Got it. Because part of me feels
I don't know if he was involved in the purchase.
Man, you're just trying to do your job, and you're just having to fend off the ACT.
Hey, with great power comes great responsibility, right? Anyway, anxiety, understandably, began to build in the art community, the people that really appreciated this painting and really vouched for it being purchased to begin with, and people were getting worried about what might happen to it. The Victorian government and Race Matthews himself, like I said, refused to accept any of the demands, and they ended up offering a $50,000 reward for information leading to the capture of the thieves. I think it's my belief that maybe they could kind of gather from the letters and from the vibes of the crime that the people that stole the painting were in the art community. And so I think that the people in charge didn't believe that people that appreciate art, such as these people, would burn a painting, would burn a Picasso.
It was we'll double bluff you.
Yeah.
We don't think you'll actually do that.
I think that exactly. I think that was the reason why they didn't.
That makes sense.
Comply. Either that or they were like, okay, you know what? This is just, this. Well, this is just what is meant to happen, I guess.
Rule number 1, you can't negotiate if you're being held to ransom, because then that just emboldens the next person, because they go, oh, there you go, there's a reward.
Well, the psychology behind these things is really complex.
Which is crazy, because we actively have the Nancy Guthrie.
Oh, the Nancy Guthrie situation, or Savannah Guthrie's mom. It's so sad, the whole
it's kind
story
of gone cold. There's not really been many updates on it.
I really hope she's still out there and is healthy and okay. But it's just the craziest situation. I can't imagine a loved one disappearing and then receiving ransom letters and then trying to figure out what to do. Do we comply? Do we not? If we don't comply, is it a life or death situation for our loved one? It's so tough. But in this situation, luckily, it wasn't a life or death situation. It was a life or death situation for the weeping woman, the Picasso painting, but luckily no one was at risk at this point, which that's a little bit better. But so, like I said, it seems like they either thought that the thieves were bluffing and they weren't actually going to burn the painting, or they just maybe didn't really care that much. But then police got a big break. 3 weeks after the painting was plucked off of the wall, they got an anonymous phone call. The anonymous caller said, "Go to Spencer Street Railway Station. There you will find the weeping woman hidden in locker 227. inside of one of the lockers, authorities find a brown paper package. And they were like, do you think it's inside or do you think it's too good to be true?
I think it's another letter. I think it's the thieves playing a game.
Okay, and that's the first time you're wrong, because inside of the package is a painting, and it is the Weeping Woman.
Wow.
It's been carefully wrapped, almost as if whoever placed it in there wanted to make sure that it would stay protected from the elements or whatever could happen to it inside of a storage locker. And when it's examined, there's no significant damage and no signs of mishandling. It's completely intact.
It's definitely the legit one. It's not a copy.
Oh, yeah. They brought in the gallery's chief conservator, who essentially, like, what's it called? Validated. Verify, that's the word, that it was the correct painting. And then he whipped the package into a waiting police car with journalists running after them. Because, of course, this is a huge story at the time. Like, how could this happen? Similar to the Mona Lisa situation. Like, how could this happen? So, after police interviewed all the bystanders at the rail station, people say that they saw at least 2 women were seen with a parcel near locker 227, while the anonymous phone call was believed to have been placed by a man. So there could have been around 3 people involved. And police believe that they were in the art world or in the fringes of the art world. So people really, to this day, believe that it was someone in the art world, which makes sense because of what their demands were. They wanted to support small artists. It can be assumed that this is maybe a small artist that launched this, or
you'd only feel so passionately about a subject like that if you felt that you were being impacted by it.
Or someone that you love, someone that you know, could be a family member or a loved one that is a struggling small artist. And to see your government paying 1.6 mil for this painting that like isn't even very pretty.
But I think clearly the double bluff worked. Because they were like, okay, we're not actually going to destroy it. Here you go. But it sounds like my guess is we never find out who ACT was.
Yeah, after the painting was safely returned to the National Gallery of Victoria, police were still scratching their heads over who committed this crime and why had they given up so quickly. In their final letter, delivered in the days after the find, the Australian cultural terrorists admitted that they, quote, never looked to have their demands met. Do you believe that?
Yeah, they were just proving a point.
They said, quote, our intention was always to bring to public attention, the plight of a group which lacks any of the legitimate means of blackmailing governments. And so there were no arrests and no confirmed identities of the thieves.
Very interesting.
The painting was gone for I believe it was all in all 16 days before it was discovered in the locker. And over time, they were investigating it for some time, but then it just, all the leads dried up and it went cold. And
I like the deeper meaning behind all of it. Like, no one got hurt.
Exactly. This is honestly a crime I support. I support this crime.
A clean crime.
No one got hurt over it. If anything, maybe it spent it took off a police officer's time that they could have been dedicating to other cases where it is a life or death situation. But ultimately,
it was a reminder to the Australian government, like, guys, let's look a bit closer to home.
Right. Like, it was a reality check in a way. One possibility about like who done it is that whoever was behind it didn't anticipate how big the story would become either. Like,
they got overwhelmed.
And they chickened out once they found out, like, oh my God, I could go to jail for like ever for this. Like, they chickened out and were like, okay, we're going to return this ASAP. Like, what started or might have started as a bold or even playful prank or idea quickly turned into something much more serious, and returning the painting was a way to quickly de-escalate.
They were like, we can get out of this while we can. The longer we keep hold of this, someone will find out.
Yeah, and their motive wasn't, like we said, it wasn't for money. They didn't want to sell it. So their mission was kind of accomplished within, like, honestly, the day it was discovered that it was missing, and people were like, oh.
The fact that we are shedding light on it.
Yeah.
In what?
2025?
April 2026?
Oh my God, I just said 2025. Am I okay?
Completely off topic. But when you were younger at school and you had to like write, not letters, but like papers I used to hate it when the new school year would start because it would take me 2 to 3 months to get out of the habit of writing the previous year's date.
But you know what? This year is actually great because you can easily turn a 5 into a 6. Like if you accidentally write 2025 on a paper,
True.
This is one of those years where it is easy to just like fudge it into a 6.
Very true.
You know? So like the students of today are probably like, okay, phew. It's not I don't need to get the white out, you know?
I'm sure the students of today are on like their iPads.
Oh yeah, they're just typing. They'll just backspace and
Yeah.
they'll just...
They're not like me. It took me a while to...
I would just scratch it out and write it next to it. Or I'd ask for a new piece of paper, depending on the day.
I spent a long time on a pencil because
Of course, you play a little nub.
Well, I got upgraded to the pen in like 4th grade, I feel like. But I was a smudgy writer, so then I got demoted back to the pencil because I couldn't be trusted.
You need to earn it.
Very embarrassing.
You lost privileges.
I did. I got my pen too early, got excited, and I would just have black ink all over my hand.
Well, imagine how lefties feel. Lefties have it way worse.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was one possibility of why they kind of chickened out, returned the painting, because they were afraid of jail time and also they accomplished their goal. Another possibility is that returning it in the way that it was returned, like in the time frame that it was returned, was always part of the plan. That the entire point was, like we said, to create a movement, a moment, to disrupt, to drum up conversation, make the top players in the art world consider supporting local artists, to create buzz, but also return the art before anyone got in trouble or the painting got impacted or anyone wound up in jail. And in that sense, whether we agree with the method or not, it worked. Because serious conversations started happening in the Australian art world about highlighting smaller artists. Today, when visitors walk through the National Gallery of Victoria, one day it will be me, because I will go there eventually, we're going to go see this painting and be like, oh yeah, we remember that story that we did on it?
The Weeping Willow.
That's literally not what it's called.
The Weeping Woman.
The Weeping Woman.
Weeping Willow is a song I like.
And if you came across The Weeping Woman, just if you've seen it yourself or if you're going to see it one day, just think, you're not just looking at a piece of modern art. You're looking at something that was once taken, hidden, and returned, but also sparked a movement by people who were never caught. So it's really such a mystery, but it's kind of a great one. Like, I don't need to know who these people are. I don't need to know because it's best for them that way, And I'm sure there are people who do know. Like in the art world, it's probably kind of like the best kept secret,
Who did it?
Who did it and who helped us all out. Like I'm thinking more so that group. I'm not an artist per se, but yeah. So I love this story. I came across it on Reddit actually. I was like, oh, I'm going to do some more digging. Because the painting itself, guys, if you are just listening on audio, like do yourself a favor, look this thing up because it's crazy. It's a classic Picasso look.
Yeah, Picasso had gone on a few weird dates with some strange woman, I think.
Well, it was based on either his wife or his lover. Someone in his life that was a weeping woman.
Both of us with our, degrees in art. Criticizing Picasso.
Yeah, I literally... Who am I to criticize Pablo Picasso, who, first of all, is no longer with us, so he can't even defend himself.
Yeah.
And number two, this painting was valued in 2016 at $100 million. So, like, who the heck am I to criticize it? But it's not my favorite, okay? I don't like it. I'll just say it. I don't like it. And that's the story of The Weeping Woman, which is to some an ugly, expensive painting, to others a deep, priceless art piece, and to even more, the central pawn in Australia's greatest unsolved art heist. That we're kind of okay with being unsolved.
What a fantastic story.
Interesting, right?
And a great way to wrap up
season one.
I mean, what other podcasts are you going to have references to Picasso, the Mona Lisa, 9/11?
Interesting episode, for sure.
In one episode.
Yeah, sure. And a discussion about pens and pencils.
Pens, pencils, what your favorite holiday was.
Yeah, we covered a lot of ground today, subject-wise. But if you guys are currently in Australia, let us know. And let us know if you've seen this painting, because I'd love to see it with my own two eyes, even though it's not my fave. I like want to see it now that I know all the lore. So much lore. And you guys, that is it for episode 16 of the pod. Thanks for being here. Answer all of our questions, please. We had quite a few. And we will talk to you guys in season 2. Bye.
Cheers.